Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Red Pill Diaries. I'm your host, Rashid. And if you would give me 1 second, I would be really, really appreciative. Hold on, everybody. Hold on 1 second, okay? We're having problems. The links are being cut and everything. Hold on 1 second. Man, these people suck. Hold on 1 second. All right. Here we are again, everybody. I want to apologize to those who are on Rumble, but we will be back up on Rumble in just a few seconds. My son is working on it right now. The links on locals, we will be back up. Man, these people, I guess they're going to work and work until they just break down my show, okay? But until then, we're going to keep pushing it. I want to ask you guys before we go into the show, because this is called War Talk. The escalation continues. I want to ask you guys, for real, how many shows on YouTube or on Rumble or on locals go through these problems on a daily basis, on a show-by-show basis? How many? Huh? Up until the show go live, everything is cool. Everything is culture. When the show goes live, the links are broken. How is that? But we're not going to let them frustrate us. We're going to continue to go, and hopefully we'll be back up on locals in just a few seconds. My son is working on it on another on his computer over there, and hopefully we'll have this thing up and going. Now, since the show is called War Talk, the escalation continues, I want to talk about something with you all for a few seconds, all right? America continues to escalate. And people, and this is what kills me, the pundits, the prognosticators, the hosts of all these podcasts continues to give the U.S. the benefit of the doubt. When you listen to them, it's Zelensky. Zelensky is going crazy. Zelensky is going crazy. Zelensky is going crazy. Zelensky is starting to do X, Y, and Z. Now, everybody, let us use rational common sense. Before I do that, I want to play an old clip, okay? Since we're on this subject, because I want to break something down to you all, okay? I want to break something down to you, and I want to show you just how untenable, irrational, and unsound most people's judgment is when it comes to the situation with the U.S., the Ukraine, NATO, and Russia, all right? Because if we were to believe that Zelensky had the power to do what he's doing, that would mean that America does not have the power to do what she normally does with puppets. That would mean that America does not have the influence, the resources, and the wherewithal to remove Zelensky or his inner circle if they were to violate against her true intentions, okay? So before, I just want to let me play this copyright fair disclaimer thing, because I don't want any more problems. They've taken more of my subscribers. I'm back down up under 4,000. They're doing everything that they can to stop this show. So I'm going to preempt their strikes against me with this. Hold on with this 12 or 15 second disclaimer. Do not go anywhere. Check it out. Now, that should be good for any clip that I play, the fair use clip, okay? I want to go back to something that I played on this show maybe a year ago or last year or something like that with Colonel McGregor and him being on Fox News, okay? And his description of Zelensky, all right? This is about this is about a 2 minute and 10 second, or 2 minute and 18-second clip, okay? And once we hear this clip, we'll come back and we'll discuss this thing, and we'll put the policies and we'll put everything that the U.S. and NATO's media outlet has to say. We'll put it on trial to see if it stands the smell test, okay? So I want to play this clip. Be very mindful, and please stay with me. And also, if you're coming over from Rumble, please forgive me. We're trying to fix the links right now. They're breaking our links on our show right now. So check this out right here.
Douglas McGregor, who joins us now. Sir, What's the strategy?
What you're seeing is that the Russians have now driven what is left of the Ukrainian forces, who are taking refuge in population centers, cities, because they have no mobility, no air defense, no air cover, no logistical infrastructure. They are now mingling with the population, much as we've seen in the Middle East. Whenever we drove the Islamists out of business, they ran into cities, used people as shields, the civilian population, and tried to avoid being annihilated. Russian forces, I think, frankly, were too gentle. They've now corrected that. So I would say another 10 days, this should be completely over. But the question is, what is it that Zelensky is going to do? The Russians have made it very clear what they want is a neutral Ukraine. This could have ended days ago if he accepted that. And then they can adjust the borders. But the eastern part of Ukraine is firmly in Russian hands. But again, the Russians are not seizing territory. They're destroying Ukrainian forces. That's their focus.
Colonel, it sounds like you don't approve of Zelensky's stand.
Oh, I think Zelensky is a puppet. And he is putting huge numbers of his own population at unnecessary risk. And quite frankly, most of what comes out of Ukraine is debunked as lies within 24 to 48 hours. The notions of taking and retaking airfields, all of this is nonsense. It hasn't happened.
He's not a hero when he's standing up for himself and his own people? You don't think he's a hero?
No, I do not. I don't see anything heroic about the man. And I think the most heroic thing that he can do right now is to come to terms with reality. Neutralize Ukraine. This is not a bad thing. A neutral Ukraine would be good for us as well as for Russia. It would create the buffer that, frankly, both sides want. But he's, I think, being told to hang on and try to drag this out, which is tragic for the people that have to live through this.
So now we have an understanding that Zelensky is a puppet. Now, there's an old saying, if I pay the bills, I call the shots. Right? People said 96, I believe, 96% of all of the funding for Ukraine comes from the United States. Let's just give it a number. That's just 95%. We know that the United States funds is in the Ukrainian military budget. We know that they fund the pensions. We know that they fund the schooling. We know that they fund the all of like the sanitation and all of this other stuff, right? And the retirement. Okay. Now, I want to ask you all: when has America? Forget you, but let's look at America for a second. When has America been in such a position where she dishes out the money? She has embedded her spy apparatus or her spy or intelligence agencies in the Ukrainian intelligence agencies. She's embedded her special forces and her trainers in the Ukrainian military and all sectors of Ukrainian society, right? And she funds the build for the entirety almost of the Ukrainian government. Now tell me, when has America ever done that and allowed for a leader under such conditions to buck up against America's power, will, or dictates? I'm asking you this because now I hear that every time America becomes more and more desperate, the onus comes off of America and onto Zelensky. They take the onus off of the empire and put it on the puppet, as if the puppet can put its own clothes on, as if the puppet can dance without the strings being pulled. They are not living in reality when they discuss this. They're telling you these things because they have a vested interest in the maintenance or the maintaining of Western power. Regardless of what they say about anything else, if they present to you a scenario where Zelensky, the so-called president of Ukraine, is ignoring the wishes of the United States government, is ignoring the wishes of the United States military, is ignoring the wishes of the NATO leadership, and there are no consequences of assassination, overthrow, or government shutdown, then they are outright lying to you. There has never situation, her alphabet agents in that nation, and allowed for that nation to buck up against its power or its policy. Never, ever, ever point to one time in history. Point. All I'm asking you to do is point. See, here we look at the things as they are, not as we would like them to be. Because we got to face reality, and a lot of us do not want to face reality. We want some of the reality, but then when the other part of the reality becomes too unpalatable for us to taste, we don't want that part. We'll just make up stuff with that. Never in the history of America can you point to where America has allowed a nation to buck up against its policies when it is funding that nation, when it has fused intelligence agencies. Show me one thing of the American empire. Show me. And if you can show me, then I would bow out to this line of reasoning. If not, those people who are talking must stop putting the blame on the puppet and put the blame on where it really lies. And that is on America, the UK, and then the EU/NATO. And I say this, why do I say this? Because the narrative is, I notice when America gets ready to discard a leader, they have become irrational, unsound. They're crazy in their office. There are reports, people saying that they're crazy. They're not rational. They're ordering this and ordering that. There is nothing that Zelensky can order in Ukraine without American intelligence knowing. Nothing. Without NATO intelligence knowing. Nothing. Without British intelligence knowing. Do you understand that it is British intelligence that guards Ukraine, the president of Ukraine? Then how in the hell can he make policy initiatives and policy directives without them knowing? Make that understandable for anybody out here. He is guarded by British special forces or secret or special services, and he can make a policy directive or policy initiative outside of the scope of British and U.S. intelligence. That is absolutely insane. You understand? Have you fixed the link? My son is still working on the Rumble link, okay? So again, I say these things to remove the foundation that a lot of people lay, because there are a lot of major channels that take this line of thinking and reasoning and they run with it. And this is wrong. This is not sound or rational judgment or thinking. When we're dealing with the empire, we cannot underestimate the brutality, the viciousness, the underhanded, the backstab and all. We can't underestimate any of that, lest we find ourselves in the grave. And I want to, and let me, before I transition to something else, I want to ask you something. Let's look at this situation with Russia. Okay, and this right here will put it in the bag right here. America doesn't fund Russia, right? Russia is not only a near peer power with America, but right now militarily she is superior. She has a superior ground force. America more potent, more weapons that can destroy the Air Force and the naval forces asymmetrically, like the Bastion coastal systems, these underwater drone nuclear subs, right? The S-350, the S-400, the S-500. They're working on the S-550. These air defense systems that will cut through America's Air Force like a Ginsu knife, making it look like a Swiss cheese. They have all of these new air defense systems like the Buck, I think what is it, the Buck 2 or the Buck 3, the Panzer 2 or the Panzer 3. And if you see smoke coming out, that's my sage blowing. But anyway, you see all of these things. Russia has asymmetrical answers to everything that America has invested in. Russia is the largest nuclear force on the planet. And Russia is bucking up against America's policy of global dominance. And America is pushing Russia to the brink and is willing to escalate to the threshold of nuclear war. How much less is Zelensky and Ukraine when they hold all the keys, the funding? They have the intelligence embedded. They have the military embedded with their military. They have all manners of government that is embedded with U.S., UK, and NATO forces. And you're telling me that Russia, independent, powerful, pure power of America, is being pushed to the threshold because it does not want to obey American dictates, but this lackey that has no financial has no financial or political independence can buck up against America that's funding and supplying its government budget. Man, stop this foolishness. Don't present that to the people like that. That's taking advantage of them, and you know that. They talk on one thing, and then they'll move it over, and then they'll put this in there. Zelensky is a puppet, and then from that they'll try to show you that Zelensky is implementing policies that are contradictory and opposed to what the U.S. says. Stop that foolishness right now. I want to nip that in. They're messing with our connections too. I'm looking at the connections on the monitor, on YouTube monitor, and on this it says we have excellent internet connection. Excellent. So if there's a break or a bleep or a pause or a buffering, it is not us. It is StreamYard. This time it's not YouTube, it's StreamYard. I want you to know that right now. And it's StreamYard that's cutting the links to Rumble and Odyssey. StreamYard is doing that. So let's go further. My son is finding that that's StreamYard doing that. What did you say? Refresh it and try. My son, and he's talking to me right now. He's working on his computer and he's trying to restore the links. And he's saying that they won't even let him access the links anymore. See what I mean? For this channel to continue to lose subscribers, every time we gain subscribers, we lose. It seems like they are very, very nervous about this platform. Why? Because we're straight shooters and we're going to tell you exactly how it is. And I feed you this little feel-good stuff. Guess what happens? It puts you in a position where you don't get the right information, which could be detrimental or deadly to you and your family. And the blood that is spilled could be on me. And I'm not having that. That's not happening. No, because I don't know about you, but I fear God. I don't know about you, but I fear God. And I'm not having your blood on my hand. So listen. And I think people, when they're talking about this, they're trying to separate themselves. And I'm not talking religiously. I'm just saying God-wise. They're trying to separate their politics from God. But you can't do that because guess what? You have these so-called, and I say so-called because they're not really, these so-called Christians who run America thesis to what Jesus said or what Muhammad said, right? So you can't call them Muslims and you can't call them Christians. And here's a fun note before I go further. The word crystallize means Christian means to be crystallized into the body of Christ is one who has submitted to God. The word Muslim means one who has submitted to God. You didn't know that, did you? Well, now you do. Fun fact. Now listen, I told you every time you get on this show, you're going to learn something new or you're going to get something that's going to be beneficial to you. So as we look at this situation, again, I want to go back to something that I talked to you all about a few shows ago. And I've been talking about for the last, 8-10 shows or more. Russia has a problem. And the problem is that Russia continues to talk a language that America in the West refuses to learn. America in the West continues to talk international law, but their actions actions show us that they don't recognize, understand them through international law. The UN Security Council should do this. The UN General Assembly should do this. International law says this. And at every turn, America ignores them and ignores international law, all while trumpeting international law. Right? Again, I will say this to the Russians, and it seems that it's starting to seep into them, that when you are talking, when there are two people or more, and you are trying to communicate with, and that person or those people continue to ignore you or act as if they don't understand you. If the language that you're speaking is a language that they cannot comprehend, and you are trying to communicate with them, if you really language, because now you have an understanding that they don't understand or accept that language. So what must follow? You must then understand or learn the language that they speak. And when you understand the language that they speak, hear and understand, the language of force, the language of confrontation and escalation, the language of sanctions and threats, is the only language that the West has presented to us for the past 20, 30 years. And if Russia does not get it in its head to learn that language, I'm not saying speak it all the time, but speak it at times when it needs to be spoken to the person that you're trying to convey a message to, they will never get the heart of the message that you're trying to convey. It is if I'm speaking to a person that speaks, let's just give a language, Spanish, and I'm speaking English, or like we say in America, I'm speaking American, right? All right, I'm speaking that language, and this person that speaks Spanish continues to talk to me, and I'm not understanding them, and I'm speaking English to them, and they're not understanding me. I'm saying the language, and the language is seems like it's aggressive that they're talking to me, but I can't really understand it. To be a fair and just man, and I know that they don't understand or don't know anything about English. To be a fair and just man, if I have at my disposal an opportunity to learn Spanish, then I have to learn that language so that I can convey my message to them, so that there will be no mistakes about it, that I have conveyed the core of my message to them. Right? Is that not right? When we look at what is going on, America is putting pressure on Syria. America is putting pressure on Georgia. America is putting pressure on Armenia. America is putting pressure on Ukraine. Everywhere you go, America is putting pressure on every nation, specifically nations that are surrounding Russia or surrounding China or surrounding Iran or surrounding North Korea or surrounding Venezuela or something like that. Everywhere you go, this is what is going on, right? Let me read something to you. How America came to power in Ukraine. And I do mean America came to power in Ukraine. I want to show you something. I want to read this to you. So I want you to understand this. So the same way that America came to power in Ukraine, she's now trying to come to power in another former Russian ally. And Russia continues to talk about international law. Instead of, first of all, we understand that Pashinyan is an illegitimate leader who came to power through a coup instituted by the West. And Russia is just allowing America to seep right in there and not blocking it, because they don't want to be perceived in the eyes of the world as overthrowing the government. To hell with that. When your national interest is at heart, then, and that is an ally from Soviet days. And you see what America is doing in Armenia, what she has done in Georgia, what she is doing in Ukraine, what she tried to do in Kyrgyzstan, what she's trying to do is Tajikistan, what she's trying to do in Kazakhstan. All of these former Soviet are reacting to every move that America makes. You understand? Let's look at something. There's an article out, and it came out today, and it's on Russia Today. All right. And the article is titled, "Member of Russia-Led Military Bloc Plans to Exit." And it says, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has branded the CSTO a bubble alliance. So listen, what America has done is flooded Armenia with put in a plan over years to overthrow the government and put into place their chosen leader to weaken Russia. You understand? To weaken Russia. And I think, but I got to give America credit. What they did with Armenia was brilliant. And they don't get a lot of credit for this. The technology that they used on Armenia, it was absolutely brilliant. What they did was stoke a war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Both are allies with Russia. One is a CSTO treaty member, which is Armenia, and the other is a former Soviet republic, just like Armenia, right? So listen, if Russia intervened militarily, Russia would lose its friendship with Azerbaijan. If Russia did not intervene militarily, then it would show the CSTO to be obsolete and inefficient because it did not come to the military aid of one of its treaty members. And America poured weapons and allowed Israel to pour weapons into Azerbaijan, right? And at the same time, poured billions of dollars into Armenia to put him into power so that he can stoke the tensions so that they would go to war. And then what he did was openly and willingly give up territory that was considered disputed territory, which means that if you are involved in a dispute of territorial integrity, you cannot become a member of so-called NATO or the European Union. Well, with one push to start this conflict, this manageable conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia, Pashinyan gave up those disputed territories, and now he's moving closer and closer towards NATO. If I was Russia, I would not allow that to happen. Regardless of, we talk about democracy. Is she respecting it in Syria? Did she respect it in Libya? So when she starts that mantra of that is the democratic, did she respected without the former leaders that were overthrown by her patsy, Saakashvili in Georgia? Well, when she starts talking about the rule of law and democracy, I would tell her to go directly to hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Do not lecture me on the move your imposed leader, because the people are rebelling in Armenia, and it's time for Russia to take action. Or else, listen what happens. America is going to light another fire on Russia's periphery to weaken her. I'm telling you this now. This is how she works. And if Russia sits around and allows this to happen, she's going to have more problems than she thinks, right? Look at what she did when she allowed those NGOs into Georgia. It was almost an overthrow in Kazakhstan. What was it, last year? There was one in Kyrgyzstan, right? They tried to get in Tajikistan, and they have been in Ukraine. These are U.S. and Western NGOs. They go in there to foment unrest and dissatisfaction with the government and the norm that the culture of those people, and promises them better way of living if they turn west. Look at the West. All one has to do is look at the West. The high unemployment, the violence and crime. the disregard and disrespect for life and the rule of law. Who in the hell wants that? Article a little bit. It says, Armenia will leave the Russia-led Collective Security Treaty Organization. Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan told Parliament on Wednesday that Yerevan is seeking to improve ties with Western powers. Now we're off of locals. We've been knocked off of locals also. Just right up there in the corner. All right? Man, they are tripping. We're going to still power through this. We're going to power through this. You can believe that. So now listen. Let us remember that Armenia is a landlocked nation. I think Russia has 3 military bases there. Why won't Russia give America a taste of her own medicine? Since this is the battlefield, remember that Armenia and these other nations are not close to the United States. They're not close to England. They're close to Russia. So it is imperative that it is a vital national interest that Russia responds, because Pashinyan has openly declared that he will leave the CSTO and move towards joining the European Union and NATO. This is unacceptable to Russian national security. So what Russia should do is overthrow it. Give America a taste of her own medicine. Because if Russia leaves this man in power, there will be war. The people will rise up and there will be a massive suppression of the people. All one has to do is look at the blueprint. What happened in Georgia? What happened in Ukraine? What is happening in Georgia? What is happening in Ukraine? So if Russia has 3 military bases there, why don't she use those military bases? She has a lot of intelligence assets there. Why don't she use those there to help free the people of this U.S.? Because this is a national security threat for Russia. The language that America speaks is escalation in war. She believes that she is Burger King and everybody's Burger King. The options is my way, the highway, or the grave. That is America's motto. She wants total and complete dominance. And when I say America, I'm talking about the UK also. Because Pashinyan, it goes on and says, the landlocked Caucasus country was one of the founding members of the CSTO and had been part of the military alliance since 1992. However, relations between Yerevan, which is the capital of Armenia, and the bloc have soured over the past year, with Armenia accusing the CSTO of failing to stop its neighbor Azerbaijan from reclaiming the Nagorno-Karabakh region through military force. Excuse me. We know that was a setup. We know that after the events started taking place, we know that that was a move by the United States and NATO, promising Pashinyan that if he somehow were able to get rid of those disputed territories and at the same time blame it on Russia, then they would welcome them with open arms into the Western fold. Look at what's happening. Look what's happening. So now, let me go to something. I want to see something real quick. There is something. Let me go back here. The Empire. She's trying to apply a little bit, but I have something. I want to see if I can bring this up on the screen. I want you all to, if I can bring this up on the screen, I've been having problems. These people are knocking me off. And I see the pink surrounded my L, which is locals, with an exclamation point, a red exclamation point. That means that the link is completely cut. And I have the same thing around my Rumble. That means the link to Rumble is completely cut. This is, I would say Rumble and locals, but no, this is coming from we have the common denominator to locals, Rumble, Odyssey, and YouTube. And that's StreamYard. Okay? So mathematics would make us think that more of the problem is coming from StreamYard and not from those sites right there. So I want to see if I can bring up something because it's very important that I bring this up. So hold on 1 second. Let me see something. If they don't knock me off. And if they knock me off, everybody, please listen. If I get knocked off or if it freezes, stay where you are. Do not get impatient. Stay where you are. It may take me 30 seconds to a minute or so to get back on, but please give me a second, okay? I know the tricks that they're playing, but we're going to overcome all of them. Let me see if I can pull this up. Nope. Settings. I think that's it. Hold on 1 second, everybody. They have this new feature, and I'm trying, but I can't use it right now. It's like it's saying, okay, try it then, big man. So hold on 1 second, everybody. Let me try it. Let me see if it'll allow this to happen. From my show, day before yesterday, I believe it was. It wasn't yesterday, was it? I think it was day before yesterday. And it's very important you listen to this if they allow it to come up, because there's an article out on Russia, right? In this article, it says U.S. to shadow Russian nuclear subs near Cuba. And then on, where is it? Sputnik or Sputnik or whatever you want to call it. It talks about the deployment of Russian assets, naval assets to Cuba. And it talks about how Russia is giving the U.S. a taste of its own medicine. Here it is right here. Man, I'm good. I can go right to this stuff. So it's titled, Russian ships entering Cuba gives the U.S. a dose of its own medicine. So hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hopefully it comes up. Hold on, everybody. Let's see if it'll come up. Because I don't know why. Prevail in the world. Hold on, let me go back a little bit. Let me see if I can. You understand? They're messing with everything. It's like everything is now slowing down. Up here on this tab, up here it says StreamYard is having problems with this. So maybe it's StreamYard. Like I said, maybe it's StreamYard. Let's see. For those of you who are looking, I have excellent connection, so it's not me buffering. It's not me. It's not on my end. This has to do with StreamYard. Okay. Oh, come on. This is crazy. Crazy about it. I was listening to this earlier, but then we gotta touch on all of this. So I want to thank everybody who has. So I paused this for a minute. I want you to pay close attention to this. I think it's going to be a few minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes or something. Have patience with me, okay? Matter of fact, let me see if I'm still up on the screen, because I know how they play these games. It's going to be maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. It could be shorter. I don't know. But I want you to listen to what I'm saying. And it's once again, it seems that Russia is taking what I'm saying and starting to act on it. I want you to pay close attention. Let me go back to this real quick and see if it'll. Why it's not doing that? Join me, and who will join me on Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, Odyssey, Locals, the Red Pill Red Pill Journals. You for joining, and if you're not, something comes up on one that's preventing you're getting an understanding, you'll be able to access whatever we have on the other one. So please do that. So let's go into the news right now. I just have to let this frustration out and let you guys know exactly what's going on, because I am. So we're going to continue. I'm going to get some information to you guys. I'm going to get a stream to you guys, regardless of how much they try to stop this. talking to you all.
Right.
So I noticed Russian President Vladimir Putin is there. You know how we do this? We do this live. So give me a second. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can pick this up. Because it's something very important that he said that everybody is quoting. Hold on 1 second, everybody. I think they're messing up the stream. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. They are, man, let me tell you something. They are tripping here. They are absolutely tripping. They've just cut another link on my show. This is, if I would please everybody, when you get a chance to put comments in the comment section, because this is absolutely insane what they're trying to do to this show. It's unreal. All I'm trying to do real time, the stuff that that everybody is saying, and all I'm trying to do is show you, listen, if we process it this way, there's no way that somebody can take it that way. There is no way Zelensky can be the puppet and be the master at the same time. No way. And why is America constantly escalating? And China is the belligerent one. Russia is the belligerent one. Iran is the belligerent one. Mali is the belligerent one. Why does not any Western news media say, hold on, do they have military bases in your country? Are they, because you won't allow their NGOs in your country. You say that their NGOs are against democracy and they're trying to interfere in your elections. And yet when these other nations say, hey, we're going to label your NGOs as foreign agents, this is an outrage. And man, I'm telling you, I can't believe that America can still pull these tricks over the masses of the people. Yes, she is the master of technology. Yes, Great Britain or the UK is the master of technology. But in this enlightened age, we're in you to overlook the points that are being made. How is Russia the belligerent one when America has expanded to Russia's border? Say for instance, Russia is provoking tensions in Ukraine. Let's just form Eastern world's position that this was unprovoked and this was a direct attack on Ukraine. Why does it matter to America? Why does it matter to the UK? Did they attack you? Is Ukraine in your part of the world? Do you have any historical ties to Ukraine? Why does it matter to you? How in the hell can you be so concerned about a country 10,000 miles away when you're not the unemployment, the homelessness, the hunger, the violence, the divide that is great, that is bigger than the East and the West. The divide is so great that it is greater than the divide from the East and the West. There's a culture divide, a racial divide, a financial divide, a political divide. We have debt up to the eyeballs and back down to your toenails. And your more concern of a nation is to secure the interests and the livelihood of its own citizens. And if you do not do that, then you're showing that you have been derelict of duty and that you are not worthy of stewardship over government. You understand? You are concerned. You see that? I don't even know what that is. But anyway, you see that? It's absolutely crazy. Now listen to this. I want to show you how crazy they're doing things. On my StreamYard dashboard right here, the thing, it says it's 47 people watching. On YouTube itself, it says it's 7 people watching. Isn't that crazy? 50. Anyway, again, people, because we're going to power through this. How can you be so concerned about the territorial integrity of Ukraine? Territorial integrity is slipping away. Your independence as a nation is being broken. Your wealth is being destroyed. Your positioning politically and geopolitically, something 10,000 miles away, and ignoring something that is right within your own borders, in your back bedroom, in your kitchen, in your living room. You're not concerned about what's going on in there. The living room is on fire. The kitchen is on fire. Somebody that's in another state, in the state of their house. How is that rational thinking? How? Somebody make me understand that. Well, if Russia takes Ukraine, Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union. Whose business is it for the UK and the US? Lindsey Graham, I did it on a show, and it's amazing. Listen to this. When I did that show the other day, notice other shows piled up that I had on that show for the channel members. Go look at the major shows. Lindsey Graham let the cat out of the bag. He wants the U.S. to get Ukraine for the strategic, to weaken Russia and China and Iran, to cement its stronghold over the European Union, right, in the Mediterranean and the Black Sea, and for the trillions in untapped resources for the United States. Remember the clip I played on that show, when he talked about, when Alex Craner was telling you why the U.S. and the UK and NATO continues to push for war and continues to expand wars, is because they need more. They have debt, and they have to assign this asset to the debt so that they can continue to print debt, so that the empire can continue to go on and continue to maintain. What happens when the nation stands up? When the nation stands up, they become dictators, tyrants. They're not good people. What the Bible say? Here it is, a man one time, savages, right? A man that talked down to black people, to brown people, to yellow people, and the red people. I have the videos. You can't tell me it didn't happen. A man who then talked down about white people in America. I'm not making this stuff up, man. I'm not. Joe Biden, one of the most corrupt men on over 500,000 Ukrainians and roughly 50 to 80,000 Russian lives, and also was a part of the destruction of the Libyan nation and the invasion of Syria. Talks about on what planet does he has justification to judge any man? Because what it says, judge not lest ye be judged. For the judgment ye judge ye shall be judged, right? So we're going to look at who's good and who's not good. Biden, you're not even close to making the list of who's good. You're corrupt to the core. Your family's corrupt to the core. The system is corrupt to the core. Your administration is corrupt to the core. And it is taking the world down the rabbit hole of war. You understand? So, listen, I can't get that clip up because of StreamYard. But guess what? I'm going to download it one day, God willingly, on the computer, and I'm going to bring it up. Shout out to Samuel Hamzy. Yeah, let me put this up here. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have to put this up here. Samuel Hale says, Rashid, I bet if you talked about P. Diddy or basketball, they would leave your stream alone. Absolutely. And absolutely, man, you know what? Boom, mic drop moment. That is a mic drop moment. I say that all the time. YouTube comes after me. And they tell, matter of fact, they've already said that my show and my platform is a part of a violent criminal organization. I've never called any type of names like the N-word or the C-word. I've never disparaged anybody according to race, creed, religion, or ethnicity or gender. Never. I have not promoted the killing of the taking of lives, the theft of resources, and I've been more than cordial to everybody that has appeared on the platform. And you can go right now to other platforms, and every other word is MF. The most derogatory manner of speaking to each other. And there are 100, 200, 300,000 people, and they're not considered violent. They're not considered part of a violent criminal organization. Hell, I've interviewed Ray McGovern, two-time Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney, Scott Bennett, Scott Ritter, Jim Fetzer. I've interviewed a host of Dick Coy, all of these. I'll say this, man, I love your platform. It should be bigger. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up something for you, okay? Give me a second. I want to show you something while we're talking about this. Everybody, I told you, I try to keep receipts, so hold on one second. Let's see if I can pull it up. Please let me still have it up here. Boom. I'm going to put something up to the screen. You may not be able to see it, but I'm going to try to put it up here. This was on February 6, 2024. Let me see if I can put it in a way that you can see. Let's see. Go back. All right. Let's see. I'm trying, everybody. Hold on one second. I don't know how to take it out. All right, there we go. I had it just right and it moved out. Well, anyway, on February 6th, there was an article written by former CIA analyst. And in this article, the title of the article is Two New Podcasts, Ania K and Rashid, plus The Mouse That Roared, right? This is Larry Johnson, okay? He did this because he didn't think that my channel was getting his just due, right? You can go to his Sonar, it's on Sonar 21, okay? Shout out to Larry Johnson. All right. This is what he says. One of the voices, Ania K and Rashid Muhammad, are two excellent examples of this. Ania is a smart lady who currently lives in Poland, and Rashid is a great American. And after he put this sentence in, he realized that I'm not in St. Louis. And we laughed about it. But anyway, it's in the article. It says, there's a smart lady who currently lives in Poland, and Rashid is a great American living. Listen to what he said. Rashid is a great American living in St. Louis. So right there, that dispels this stuff about. Now, from his perspective, that dispels anything about me being according to YouTube. Goes on and says this. The only flaw that both have is that they think I'm worth talking to and regularly give me an opportunity to discuss the latest going on in Ukraine and the Middle East. Anya invited Andrei Marchinov and me on Ukraine. I love being able to have a discussion with Andrei. I've learned a lot from him. His book should be must reading at all U.S. military academies. Listen to what he says right here. Rashid, listen to what he says about me. But I'm part of I'm telling you, labels me part of a violent criminal organization. I got the proof. I got the pictures. This is what he says about Rashid and Rashid's platform. For those of you who think that I just have 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers, okay? Because that's the number that they put up there. This is what the CIA analyst says. It is my brother from another mother. He has a very small audience. Frankly, he merits having at least 100,000 subscribers. Rashid is a smart man who is anything he has to say about Rashid. And YouTube labeled the Red Pill Diaries and Rashid part of a violent criminal organization. And they labeled me that for putting up a article from when they was talking about Israeli soldiers were captured. I didn't say Israeli soldiers were murdered or were killed or were tortured. I just said that they were captured, they were surrounded. And all I did was put up the picture. And the picture had it was just a square with the words Hamas said to have encircled or surrounded and captured more Israeli soldiers. That's all I put up. It was from a international publication. YouTube took it down and suspended me and labeled me pausation. That's what they did. I have all the proof right before me. And when I appealed it, they rebuffed my appeal and said that it stood that I was part of it. My show and what I did was part of a violent criminal organization. They can't tell me why. They won't tell me why. And tell them because you know they have the algorithm. Tell them if I'm lying to challenge me on it live. Tell them to challenge me on what I'm saying live, so that they won't have the and we can put out what was put up on the show and see which one is telling the truth. That's all I'm asking. I'm not embellishing anything. I'm not making anything up. And if YouTube is butthurt, tell them to come on the show. Send one of their representatives, one of the people who viewed my post, come on the show and give you the people an explanation of why I was labeled that and why my show is being shadow banned and all of this stuff. I give them the opportunity just like I give anybody. I know from the outside it looks easy, but when you step in the kitchen, it gets hot. So if you want to come in the kitchen, I'm prepared to do the cooking. Let's go. Let's go to Incognito. Incognito says, stream messed up. You're right, Rashid. Going to listen to Congress BS live instead. Bye for now. All right, Incognito. I can't do anything about the screen. I can't do anything about this one. Samuel said that, but good random. Oh my God, Ascended Awakening. I missed Ascended. He's in here. I just missed something. Joel Bradford. He gave prop to Sam. All I'm trying to do is just show you the ins and out of geopolitics with all the tricks. because it's no longer geopolitics. What we see now is geopolitics. They're trying to trick the people. And the more they trick you, the more they're cementing their own demise. Because they've been blinded. They've been smitten with the religion. And they are drunk. They're drunk off the power that they had. They're drunk off of the influence that they had. They're drunk off the wealth that they need. Now, of Sonar 21, you go into the browse and you can browse it about. I just got off the video. Why did I just? No, it's not on page 14. I just clicked off the video. I mean the article. But I just gave you the information before that. But I want to go to something real quick. All right. All right. So give me a second while I'm doing this. So I just pulled up something. While America is funding Ukraine to the tune of 61 more billion dollars. And remember that when she gives you these numbers, she doesn't give you the up and up on them. These numbers that won't cause you to go to the streets and then go to the government heads to chop off heads. She, like Mike Maloof says, whatever the number she gives you, multiply by 2 or 3. She's giving Ukraine when she gave that 61 billion. It's even more than that. But the problem is most of that goes to the military-industrial complex. And I said all of that to say she can see war as a productive instrument in maintaining her empire. But she can't see real production by corporations and people as a vital instrument in keeping the republic alive. I want to read something. I just went to this. Something just told, while I was talking to y'all, something just told me. And I went to the economic. The title of the article on June 10th is called "The Entire System is Crumbling. Major red flags are popping up for banks, small businesses, and retailers." Now, before I read anything else, this will bring us right in line to what Russia just did today. To something. Give me a second. Russia, the Moscow Exchange, the Moscow Stock Exchange has just suspended euros. Let me say that again. I'm going to go back to the article. See how it's boom, boom. I'm going to go back to that article, which is related right to that. I just saw this and that these people in office have for the average person here in America and the people around the globe, but specifically the people in America. The article is titled, "Moscow Exchange suspends trading in dollars and euros. The move has been prompted by a new round of sanctions imposed by the U.S., the group has claimed. So now, listen, what do they say? What do they give to? And I often said, now I see a lot of people saying this on their platforms, but 2.5 years, 3 years, that what is attributed to Einstein is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. America sanctioned Russia. You continue to sanction Russia. You suck, StreamYard. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You see now they're buffering me now. You see that now? With excellent excellent connection. They are buffering me now because now I'm going to the nitty gritty on things. YouTube, you suck, and StreamYard, you suck. All right. Anyway, the first round of sanctions and the first 100,000 rounds of sanctions didn't work. Well, if we do it again, it'll work. And it has caused the people around the world to rid themselves of dollar holdings, euro holdings, and to now to try to trans post-dollar euro world. And yet that still has not set in with the West because Europe is working on another package of sanctions, which is destroying your new round. Man, they are sucking. I tell you, they suck. Opened a new round of sanction on the U.S. For those of you who are listening, you see what's going on, right? So do you think I'm making this stuff up? You see what they're doing with my show, right? Yeah. Oh. I see stuff that you guys don't see, and they are buffering me bad on my end. Okay. This is what it says. We're going to power through this because I'm going to get these points on, and then we'll call it a day. And I might later on this evening. StreamYard, man. If I wasn't a civilized person, I'd tell you exactly what about. For real. But anyway, it says the move has been prompted by a new round of sanctions imposed by the U.S., the group has claimed. Hey, do you see this on the Danny? Do you see? Huh? These people have 200, 300,000 subscribers. Do you see this manner of sabotage on their show? And these are the alternative voices. But you see it on me, on mine. Right? Man, it's crazy. Let's go a little further. The Moscow Exchange suspended trading in dollars and euros on Wednesday, by the U.S. Treasury earlier in the day. The suspension affects foreign and precious metal trades, as well as stock and money trading on Russia's largest public trading markets, MOEX, noted in a statement. Except the derivatives market also has been unaffected by the change, with trade going on as usual. Now, why would America shoot herself in the foot currency on Russia's trading platforms? It's the yuan now, the Chinese yuan. So why would you do that now? See, she's lashing out. She's like a spoiled child. She's lashing out because she's no longer dominating. And she's trying to show Russia that she still can strike. She still can scratch. She still can bite, kick, right? But let's go to something. Where is it at? Let's hope that they have not moved this. Come on, bro. They are really messing with this. Don't worry about it. I still can get it. Whether they block it or not, I'm gonna go on this and do it. Hold on one second, everybody. All right. We're gonna power through it. And listen, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me and for maintaining the time that you've been here. Okay. It's easy to give up and go away. And it's hard to suffer through all of the sabotage. But we're going to maintain. So listen what it says right here in this article on the Economic Collapse blog. The entire system is crumbling. First of all, that's the first sentence in the entire system is crumbling. You think? Look at what she's done to Russia, sanctioning Russia. Look at what she's doing to her largest creditor, China, sanctioning China. Look at what she's doing to all of the nations. She's becoming a pariah nation. And the world is moving on from dollar and euro hegemony. So it goes on and says the entire system is crumbling. Major red flags are popping up for banks, small businesses, and retailers. And now, as we go into this, we're not going to read the whole article. We're just going to read a little bit because I don't think time would permit, and I don't think StreamYard will either. All right. Now, here's the kicker. What StreamYard will do after the show is ask me how the show was. And when I tell them, then they'll send me a private message on how they're trying their ball is full of excrement too. All right. So I'm voicing that right now. But listen, and I pay money for this. And this is not sound business to keep customers free one on StreamYard. I pay money. But let's go further. It says, if the economy is fine, why are so many signs of trouble erupting all around the U.S.? In the right direction, conveniently ignore the very troubling facts and figures that I regularly share with my readers. When you take an honest look at the cold, hard numbers that the economy keeps producing, there is only one logical conclusion. The entire appears that the conditions will soon get significantly worse. Now, with that right there said, why would America prioritize war against Russia? Why would she prioritize throw people who are close to Russia to put in Pashinyan? Why would she prioritize overthrowing the government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine? She can't maintain this in perpetuity because the debt burden is too great. How in the hell can she maintain bases and puppets abroad when at home it is a mathematical impossibility for this? This is not Rashid saying this. This is math talking. M-A-T-H, math. And when the has we, you no longer trade in anything valuable. You force your arms on people, and now we're finding out that they're no good. We look at it in Ukraine. The only thing that you trade is your dollar, your movies, and nobody wants them anymore. Your dollar, everybody is getting out of them, and your movie, everybody is shunning. That's why the box office is collapsing now. So now the magic of Walt Disney is collapsing. And anger is starting to build up. And you want to take your anger out on the people here, and then people around the globe. And yet you don't see that you are laying nuclear bombs. You have defunded your educational system. You have prioritized things like LGBT, whatever it is. I don't even know it. LBGT or whatever. You prioritize non-binary. You can be any gender you want. You prioritize foolishness and madness in sport and play. How in the hell in a 40 yards down a 100-yard field make $300 million, and yet teachers are relying on food aid and food stamps? How can you justify that? A person dribbling a basketball with a $400 million contract, and a teacher has to work 3 jobs, get evicted from his apartment. How is that sane when the teachers are the stewards of the future generations. How in the hell can you justify pouring hundreds of millions of dollars in basketball and football stadiums and defunding Head Start? Society is turned upside down in this bizarro land called America in the Western world. See, they don't want a dose of reality. That's why they continue to sabotage my show. But I want to say this to YouTube. I want to say this to StreamYard. And I want to be very blunt and straightforward with you. When you attack me, you're attacking God, because this is the truth. And God is the truth. And no weapon formed against me will prosper. Disseminate the truth as long as breath is in my body and I have a sound mind. And when you attack me, that's why, have you noticed that YouTube, the policies that you've implemented, they have now blown back Odyssey and BitChute and all of these things now? Because you're not doing right. There was once you had a monopoly on it one time, and that is not the case anymore. It is because you don't do right. You're not right. StreamYard, the same with you. Platforms that are coming online that will weaken your position. So you better get it together while people are. How in the hell can you justify giving people 100 and 200,000 subscribers for basketball and football and boxing and MMA, inform the masses and enlighten the minds of many people, not just here in America, but around the world, of the true reality of politics, geopolitics, and economics? See, when you move against right and you try to make him you, and wrong follows you everywhere you go, and it will deconstruct your platforms. And we see that now with the rise of opposite poles like Odyssey and Rumble and BitChute and these other. Look what Twitter did under the other place. If you won't do right, God will put something out there that will do right. And the more right progresses, the more you collapse and decline. And we see the decline and collapse of the Western world, decline of the so-called rules-based order. And guess what? You ain't seen nothing yet, baby. There's so much more problems on the way for America, specifically America first, because she's the most wicked of all. She's going around the world. It used to be Kay had her empire, and she still has it through the American empire. But America is so wicked that she does not listen to any nation. She does not regard any nation's security or interest or anything. And so now she's coming to an end. And it's up. This is what the pundits are saying. This is what reality is showing us. If she respected national sovereignty, why the hell is she occupying 1/3 of Syria? Why is she just removing a couple of soldiers out of Niger? Now think about this. I want you to understand something. Let's an African nation. When America wanted to get in Niger, it only took her a couple weeks to deploy all those troops. Not even a couple weeks to deploy all those troops. Then after that, she deployed all that the weaponry and the drones. Now it's going to take to September. They've been asking us since January, and she's talking about it's going to take to September or October to fully remove what is only supposed to be 1,100 troops. To get in is quick now. To get out, she wants to take forever. The hypocrisy of the nation is showing, and the world is now looking at this. And they no longer want to be a part of what America has to offer, because they see what America has to offer is destruction, disillusionment, division. That's why all of the nations now are teaming up together outside of your sanctions, outside of your rules-based order, outside of the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and outside of all of the organizations that you and Great Britain want together their own order. They are putting together something that is tangible outside of your corruption and your hold on things. And this is what is causing anger. And resentment. In London, at 10 Downing Street, 2600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and the headquarters in Brussels. This is what's happening. We are watching the fall and collapse of America and the Western world. And you know what? It's a beautiful America. And this is why I'm gonna get a lot of, okay? Hold on one second. Let me see something real quick about this. Let me ask my son if he's gotten the link up. Hold on one second. All right, the link, he cannot restore the link. He was trying to restore the link, but he can't. Now, this is what's going to get me a lot of flack. A lot of people are trying to restore America. You cannot restore America. Not in this, not corruption is now inherent. It is to the bone now. You would have to deconstruct America and reconstruct America in a way that is just, fair, and not as powerful as she is right now, because we've seen how she is. Under America and the UK's rule, they have colonized country after country. They have victimized and exploited country after country. You don't want to hear this, but this is the truth. All right, where have we been led to? Huh? I'm asking, where are we at right now in time? On the brink of thermonuclear war under America and the UK's leadership. Who wants that type of leadership? Who wants that type of rule? Who wants to govern under the thought of the dropping of nuclear bombs? There must be something new, something better. And something new and something better is on the way right now, outside of the U.S. and the U.K.'s grasp. And no matter how, listen, we were talking war talk and how the escalation continues. This war talk and this escalation is leading the world to a smash and a clash. And in this smash and clash, America will no longer be the dominant power. As a clash, we're looking at the fall of America. On that note, thank you all for joining me on the most powerful platform for truth, bar none, anywhere on God's green earth. This is your platform for understanding, empowerment, education, and elevation. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. And remember, we may have a program if they stop messing with the links later on today. If they don't, we won't have one today, but we'll try. On that note, know that I love you if you love truth, but know that the love that God has for you will always make mine pale in comparison to his. Until we next speak again, stay strong, stay true, but above all things, stay righteous, and hit the like button and share and tell others about what they're trying to do to this show. Hey, mama, your baby boy loves you more than life. Deuces, everybody. We're out of here. Peace. I guess they're not going to play the exit, I guess, right? See what I mean about them? They're doing it, but we're out of here. Peace.